Hello. Good morning, everybody. So, yesterday was awesome. We didn't get in until a little bit later, so we missed the first half. But what we saw was fantastic. So, I'm excited to see everybody back here today. So, today I'm going to talk about the power of social media. As Brandon so graciously introduced me, I'm Erin Sell with Socially Powered. I actually left corporate America about 4 years ago to start my own social media agency. So I help businesses with their social media training, consulting, strategy, and actual management of their social media platforms. And as Brandon said, I have been featured on Entrepreneur on Fire with John Lee Dumas, amongst other podcasts. I am a founding member of the Colorado Women in Social Media, which is a group of women in Colorado that are all within the social media field. And one of the things that I love about this group is that technically we could be seen as each other's competition, but instead of us viewing it that way, we build each other up and support each other, which I think is just fantastic and what everybody should be doing. And this is a picture from our Social Media Day 2017, where I had people come in from actually all over the world. This was the first time that an event this big had been done in Denver for Social Media Day. There are other cities around the world actually that do social media days, but this was the first of its kind in Denver. So I'm super excited and proud that I was able to pull it all together, and we are already starting to plan for 2018, and pretty sure I can say this to you guys, but I think we're going to have JLD as our keynote for 2018. So if you want to take a trip to Denver, come join us June 30th. And then I don't have any kids. This is my four-legged furry baby, so I thought I'd let you guys in on. This is Dugan. He's at home being babysat. Okay, so what I would like to cover today is the power of social media, and some of the things we'll go through is the importance of social media, which I'm sure you all recognize and understand that social media is here to stay, why you should be live streaming, where to live stream, depending on what business you're in and who you're trying to connect with, getting started with live streaming, and then ideas for going live. And I'm the type of person that I actually, because I'm in social media, I really like it when I see people on their phones, as long as they're like tweeting and Instagramming and Snapchatting. So if you do and you want to use the hashtag the power of social media or hashtag socially powered, that way I can see what you guys said. So I thought I would start the morning with a little fun. I'm sure, how many people have kids? Does anybody do the Elf on the Shelf? Okay, so I have lots of friends that have kids, and I hear like mixed stories of how much of a pain in the ass it is for them to, come up with new ideas. And, they, like, a couple of my friends have already been caught by their kids. So I found this online and I thought it was really funny. This guy is thatdadblog.com, and he does all these funny pictures with his infant that he's photoshopped in funny situations. So like this one, and this, and this. And then they go on for the ride with the Barbies. So I just thought it's one of those things that, social media, there's so many different things you can do with it, and the more creative you can be, the better. I mean, this guy's got, I think he has over 30,000 followers on Facebook. So, just from playing around with Photoshop. Okay, so now let's get into the importance of social media. So today I'm going to primarily focus on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Periscope. For those of you that don't know, Periscope is connected to Twitter. Twitter purchased them like a year or two ago. And then I have Snapchat up here. We're not going to really talk about it. I do think it's an important platform, depending on who you're trying to reach. If you're trying to reach millennials, then you should consider looking into Snapchat. In fact, I was watching, Brandon mentioned that I'm a contributing writer on Social Media Examiner, which is one of the premier social media blogs out there. And I was watching Michael Stelzner. He's been putting out these episodic videos, and he actually released today, Social Media Examiner hasn't really done anything with Snapchat, and he's now embracing it. They're trying to grow social media marketing world for 2018, and he said, well, I guess maybe I should consider embracing Snapchat, and so he's having his team start to work on that. So you just never know. Okay, so I just want to give you kind of a rundown of stats. I know this is kind of an eye chart, but just really focus on the fact that Facebook has over 2 billion active users. And even though it's not necessarily the most actively used as far as like millennials, it still has, it's the most used social media platform among all ages. YouTube and Google go together. So YouTube has over 1 billion active users and 4 billion daily views, right? Instagram has over 800 million active users, and it's the highest per follower engagement rate, which means basically on Facebook, does everybody know what engagement rate means? Okay, because sometimes I talk to people and they don't even know what that means, and I just want to clarify. So Instagram has the highest engagement rate. You know, Facebook used to be great at engagement, but we have seen drastic decline, and you're lucky if you get like 1 to 2% of engagement on Facebook, whereas Instagram can be around like 10%. And then Snapchat, 180 million active users, and it's the second most used social platform, especially amongst millennials. So why social media? Social media lets you connect and learn about your audience in ways that you wouldn't have been able to before. Especially if you're using like Facebook ads, you can target, you know, based on age, location, interests. Do they have kids? Are they married? Are they divorced? Did they recently move? Are they looking to buy a home? Whatever it is, you can find out what it is that you're trying to connect with to your audience, and then find that via social. You could increase website traffic and ranking on where you show up on Google. A lot of people think you need to spend your time with SEO and advertising, but if you're posting on social media, that actually brings you up as far as where you show up on Google search. So the more you post, the better ranking you get. Helps you build relationships. I can't tell you, I mean, it happens more often than not because I am on social, but like I'll meet somebody online and then you meet them in real life, and it changes that meeting from, you know, the first time you walk up and shake hands to, I always refer back to Brian Fanzo says, it takes that meeting from a handshake to a hug. Being online and starting that conversation with somebody online helps you build that relationship. Increase brand awareness. And we're going to talk about this later in the panel, but if you're branding yourself online, that it increases whatever your company's brand awareness is. And we'll talk about it more later because I don't want to go into all that right now. But sharing your message, and this really for me goes back to the live streaming. Sharing your message online with live streaming allows you to connect and build that relationship a lot quicker with your audience. Okay, so if you want to be known online, then you need to be the exception and embrace social media and live streaming. Okay, so now let's talk live streaming. And I'm going to go into each of the platforms and talk a little bit more about them. So why you should be live streaming. People spend 8 times watching live video versus recorded video. Why do you think that is? Anybody? Interacting. It's also, I think part of the reason that they spend more time watching live is you never know what's going to happen, right? Did you guys see I think it was CNN or I can't remember what news station it was, but they were doing a live broadcast and the child came into the room in the little walker thing, and then the mom came in and so it's like the unexpected could happen. So people stay tuned just because edited video, you can go through and take out all your mistakes. I mean, if something crazy happens, you can cut it. So it's the raw version of whatever it is you're doing. You get 800% more engagement with video than you do just a regular post or image that you're sharing. There are nearly 1 million minutes of video shared every second. So, and that's something that we'll talk about, but you want to make sure that what you're doing is actually capturing people's attention. And then the last one is you get 1,200% more shares of a video than you do just a text or image. So the next thing I want to show you is actually a video, and this is an awesome video. And in fact, can I share? Well, so Joel and I may have had a conversation last night with the person in this video, and I'm like, fingers crossed she may be at Social Media Day as well. So, has everybody seen Chewbacca Mom? Candace Payne. I did see a few Star Wars shirts here yesterday. I don't remember who was wearing them. And well, I saw that, but then somebody else had one on. So.
Okay, so this is what I got. Once again, this is for me, not for Duncan, not for Cadence. I mean, I'll let them play with it. I'm not a bad mom. I'm not a jerk. But in all honesty, at the end of the day, it doesn't go in their toy box. It goes in my room. So here we go. I got to take off my glasses for it. Oh, naturally. Okay, here we go. So, yes! Now watch when my mouth actually moves. That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Here, listen.
Okay. So now that everybody got their laugh, I actually decided that I had to buy one. So I can't put this on because I have this thing on, but oh my God. So if anybody wants to play with this later, I had to do it. Yeah. So anyway, it was super cool for me because I've been laughing at this video for 2 years since it came out. And Candace, speaking to her last night on the phone, it was just like who she is, in that video. She just released this book, Laugh It Up, and I purchased the book. I got it from Amazon because, Amazon just delivers everything to my house the next day. And so I got the book on Tuesday, and I brought it with me on the plane and read half of her book on the trip out here. So it was really cool just to get a little insight into her life and then be able to actually have that conversation with her yesterday. So, but Candace became a viral sensation, sitting in her car, no makeup, no set, no backdrop, none of the equipment, professional video. And that video has had over 171 million views, 3.5 million shares, 18,000 comments, and it's the most viewed live video on Facebook ever. I don't know if you guys know the after story for her, but she ended up on I think she was on Today Show. Kohl's ended up showing up at her house and bringing her the entire Star Wars collection, giving her thousands of dollars of gift cards. She's on a completely new journey and path because of a 4-minute video that she posted in her car. So you just never really know what's gonna work and take off like a Chewbacca mask laughing, right? So the point is, don't always be selling. be yourself. Don't always be selling. A lot of times people feel like I see it a lot with, and I don't know if anybody is in MLMs here, but I see it a lot with MLMs where it's like, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. It doesn't need to be that way and it shouldn't be that way if you're trying to connect with people online. It should be that 90% of the time that you are online, you are either educating, inspiring, entertaining, or informing. 10% of the time you can sell. So basically what I tell people or tell my clients is if you're putting, let's say you're putting one post a day out on Facebook, then one of those posts per week can be selling. The rest of them need to be the educating, informing, inspiring, or entertaining. And I just love this quote by my friend Katie Lance. The magic of social media is in the one-to-one, and it truly is. And it's one of the things when you're thinking about live streaming. In fact, we were having a conversation about it last night. Is that when you are on that live stream and you're knowing that you're being recorded, don't think about it that I'm speaking to 100 people or one person, because a lot of times you'll hit the live stream and maybe nobody comes on. Think of it that you're talking to one person, like your best friend. And how would you have that conversation with your best friend versus how would you be talking to 50 people? So it's the magic of the one-to-one and building that relationship. And I love this. So part of being on social media is building this is the know me, know who I am. It's like, a lot of people refer to it as when you first start dating somebody. This is like your first date. It's the know me, like, hey, do I even want to hang out with you for more than a coffee? Do I want to go to dinner with you maybe? I don't know. So then once you've established the know me, yeah, I know you. Okay, do I like you? Or even, I like to say love just because I prefer that. But so then it's the love me stage, where it's people, are starting to come into your tribe and they, follow you every time you go live. Then it's the do you trust me? Do you trust what I'm saying to you? Do you believe that what I'm telling you is the truth? And then once you've gone through the know me, love me, trust me stage, then you can ask for the buy from me, purchase from me. So basically what that says is you need to find your tribe and then love them hard. And what that means is give, give, give. Always be giving back to the people. So I mentioned the 90-10, that you need to be telling the educational, informational, inspirational, or entertaining 90% of the time. 10% of the time, you can try and sell. So where to get started with live streaming? So Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Periscope, YouTube Live. Who goes live? Yay. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Periscope, and Insta. Okay, cool. A lot of times I get crowds that nobody's gone live. So this was actually from Social Media Day. These are two of my friends. Rachel actually streamed live throughout our entire day. It was really cool. We did interviews with each of the speakers when they got off the stage. So this was her and Mia. So Facebook Live, there are over 100 million hours viewed daily on Facebook, 800 billion video views, 78% of the online audiences are watching on Facebook Live. And I love this one, 40% of the video views is driven by sharing. So, and we talk about this a little bit later, but when you are on Facebook Live, one of the things you want to make sure that you're asking your audience is, hey guys, share this out, share this video out. Because 40% of views are driven by that. In fact, I was reading an article yesterday, I think it was, that more and more millennials are like ditching I mean, I ditched my cable a long time ago, but ditching everything and really just only doing online watching. So like Facebook and YouTube. Instagram Live. So this is, does anybody know Subi? She's like Instagram queen. So I reached out to a couple of my people that are like, that I know that are experts in these various live streaming. So this is Subi. She has over 50,000 followers on that Subi Zimmerman account. So she gave me a couple things. So engagement on Instagram Live is 10 times higher than Facebook. So if you want to engage with people, which you should be, then you probably want to check out Insta Live. Go live with a friend. So when I asked Sue what she was doing to build her business through Instagram Live, she said there's a few things that she does, but one of the best ways that she does that is by providing exclusive content on her Instagram Lives that she does once a week. And she provides content on Insta Live that she doesn't give out anywhere else. So if you want to see that, then you need to be watching her Instagram Live. The other thing that she does is she will, when she's doing that exclusive live, she will invite somebody on her stream to come on live with her. And then what that does is she's providing additional value to her followers by providing a different perspective of whatever it is they're talking about. And I don't know if it necessarily pertains to Instagram, but she's giving them something else. So that's always a great idea if you've got your followers, but you're like, oh, I don't know if I can think of enough content. So bring somebody else on to share a new way or a new idea. So 1/3 of people online use mobile to purchase. And I love this story that Sue told me. She was hosting a live event in Boston. And what she did was she did her weekly Instagram lives and she would invite people. And she ended up selling out it was $1,000 event that she was selling, and she sold it out via Instagram Live, which I think is pretty cool. So YouTube Live, this is Owen Himsath with Owen Video. He has over 30,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, and he's there with Nick Nimmin. So YouTube is the number 2 search engine. Did you guys know that? So it's basically Google and then YouTube. It was funny. I actually was sharing this presentation with my friend, and she has a just turned 12-year-old daughter. And when we were doing it, the entire time Kate was on YouTube, like watching videos and whatever. And like her 18-year-old daughter every time says, anytime they need anything, they go to YouTube before they go to Google to get the answer. So there's over 1 billion hours watched daily on YouTube, 30 million visitors per day. And then it's include your audience in the show. And I really think this goes along with all of the platforms. Owen was telling me one of the ways that he does a show, the Business of Video podcast. And so one of the ways that he does is he will have his people share out his video, and then they can be entered to win. And that would be, they win a chance to come on their show and talk about their business. So he has, 30,000 people approximately that see it. So you get to go on, talk about his show or talk about your business on his show. I thought this was interesting too. One of the things that he said to me was, instead of like most people that come on and talk about whatever it is they want to talk about, more people are coming on to talk about a nonprofit, which I thought was really cool. Because, they're not there to promote their business or sell. They're there to actually help someone else. And Periscope, is anybody who's on Periscope? A couple? Okay. I used to do Periscope all the time, and then I stopped because of too many trolls. It's too much of a pain. So this is Alex Kahn. He has over 230,000 followers on Periscope. He is actually located in Germany, but he does like training online masterminds. So Periscope has 10 million users. This one astonishes me. 40 years worth of live videos created daily on Periscope. 350,000 hours a day. So, and I love this stat because I feel like it really does leave so much room for everybody else. Only 1% of users actually live stream on Periscope. So that means if you are live streaming on Periscope, the chances of you being found and being watched are so much higher because nobody's creating content. They have 10 million users, but only 1% actually go live. So now you have to make a choice. Because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like I have a job to do as well besides live stream all day. So, I mean, there's Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Periscope, YouTube Live. If you're going to throw some Snapchat in there, you know, you got to post on regular Instagram. There's Facebook posts, like blog. When do you actually do your work? So what I recommend is you choose 1, maybe 2 to go live on, and then you don't have to go live like every day. I mean, I would say like try and go live once a week. If you can't commit to that, try to go live once a month. Be consistent. My thing would be if you're gonna like Facebook, I pretty much always recommend because that's where you're gonna get connected to. I mean, that's where your friends and family hang out. You don't have to worry about trolls like you do on Periscope. Second, I would probably say Instagram Live. Periscope, if you really are trying to reach new audiences of people that you don't know and have no connection to. YouTube Live, I would really only recommend if you've already got a really large following on YouTube. In fact, I know you have to have a minimum, I think it's 1,000 subscribers before you can even go live on YouTube. So basically what I would do is if you're thinking about, starting to live stream, going live, do a little research as to where your audience hangs out on live and then make your decision from there. So equipment. Oh, and I don't have my phone, but everybody has a smartphone, right? So I know Joel and I argue about this. I say you need 3 things. He says you only need 1, a smartphone, but he has a lot longer arms, so it's easier for him. So I say you need a smartphone, a tripod, especially if you're, going to go live from like a desk. I mean, you might as well put your phone in a tripod so it's steady. And then I absolutely recommend if you're going to be going live outside or in any sort of noisy environment that you get a mic. Like this tripod that I have is an Archon mount. It's $19.99. You can use a discount code of my name and get 20% off. So that makes it, $18 or something. And then I got this Movo mic from Amazon. If you have an iPhone, you do have to buy this little adapter. But I think this was, again, like $20. But I definitely recommend it, especially if you're going to be outside or somewhere noisy, because I do think that audio is more important than the video. A lot of times people they'll turn on your video and then they'll go do something else and they're just listening to you and they're not actually watching unless you're unless you're somewhere cool that you're showing them, something cool. But if it's just you and your face talking about something, then make sure that they can hear you and understand you. Best practices of live video. Be yourself. I know we talked about this, or I think it was discussed yesterday, but be authentic, be real. Don't try and be someone you're not, because they're gonna find out when they meet you. Eventually, ask questions. I love this one especially in the first few minutes when you go live. You can ask, hey, where are you calling in from? How'd you hear about me? Where'd you hear about me? Ask them what they want to know, whatever it is you're talking about. Do you guys have questions around this topic? I'd love to answer them. Be consistent. We talked about this. Doesn't matter if you Some people go live every day. I know a lot of people that do. It's not something that my life is different and crazy every day. I can't say at 12 o'clock I'm going to go live every day because I might be in LA at a conference. I don't know. Don't force a video. Don't do it just because somebody says you should. And then again, great audio can overcome mediocre video. Getting started. So when you're getting ready to go to create your live video, you want to make sure that you create a compelling title. Give people a reason to come in to your live stream and watch. I would recommend, especially like Instagram and Periscope, using emojis in your title because that just like draws attention. Maybe not so much Facebook, but I mean you can try it, see what works with your audience. Have a focus. I typically, what I'll do when I'm planning out a live stream is, obviously you want to welcome your people like, hey, so-and-so, so glad to see you here. Thanks for being here, blah, blah, blah. Maybe ask your questions. Where are you calling in from? Have you been on my stream before? But then typically I'll do 3 main topics. So I've got my 1, 2, 3 bullet points that I want to talk about on that live stream. The next thing, well, I already said it. Acknowledge your audience as they're coming in. And then the last thing is a clear call to action. And that call to action, I'm going to go back to like the 90-10 rule because that call to action doesn't mean buy my product. It could be as simple as, hey, are you guys getting value from this broadcast? Would you share it out to your page? It could be as simple as like this broadcast, just like it. It could be, hey, I just did this awesome new blog post. Here's kind of what I'm talking about. I'd love it if you guys would go check it out. So you don't have to always be selling. Top 5 tips for going live. So you can see in this picture, the first one is look at the camera. A lot of people, when they go live, look at themselves. So you're looking down, but that's not where the camera is. The camera is up here, or at least on mine because I have an iPhone. So you can see on the left, I was like looking at myself, and on the other one, I'm like looking at the camera. So it looks like I'm actually talking to the camera, not myself. Don't sweat the mistakes. Embrace the mistakes. In fact, like the CNBC or whoever it was guy with the kid rolling in, that's the stuff that people love. So don't sweat it. Be authentic, be yourself, be real. Take time to tell a story. Walk through that storytelling process. And engagement. So we talked about that earlier. Engagement is essential. That's really what you want to be going for whenever you're doing anything anything on social media. You want the people that are liking, commenting, and sharing. That's, you want to start conversations online, not just be like, oh, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. So what's your story? So you guys have a story. Everybody has a story to tell, right? We all came from somewhere. So tell your story. Don't just be, like I said, spewing information out there. Give them a reason to want to connect with you and engage with you. And the better you can tell your story and be open and authentic and raw and real with people, the more they will connect with you and want to stay connected. So use your own voice when you're telling that story. And then again, it's be educational, inspirational, entertaining, and informative. Ask more questions. Ask more, like I said, ask the questions of, who they are, where they're calling in from, but ask them to ask you questions as well. That really starts that conversation. And the more questions that they ask, then the other people that are following will start to answer, and it really just sparks that conversation in the feed. Don't feed the trolls. I feel like this one's a given. Personally, I think Periscope is the worst for the trolls. I don't really find trolls on Facebook or Instagram. But just block them, put them in their place. Don't let them take over your live stream because that's what that's what they want to do. Ideas for going live, and I love this one. So Joel did this Periscope live stream on a weekend day, cooking breakfast. So people will watch anything. He didn't say a word. It was like a 12-minute live stream, I think. He didn't say a word. All it was bacon frying, and I think he made some eggs. And I took this screenshot because we're from Denver, Colorado, and the comment on the bottom is "Wake and Bacon," and I thought that was funny. But I mean, for real, people spent I can't remember how many hours he sucked out of the internet. It was like 40 hours or something crazy. A year. I mean, really. So, ideas for going live. Behind the scenes stuff is great. So if if you can take them behind your business and show them something that they wouldn't necessarily know, people love that stuff. It's just really cool. I was recently I volunteered at a TEDx event in Denver and did kind of behind the scenes, just like social media. So I got to go down like where all the speakers were and where the volunteers, like under the Belco Stadium conference convention, whatever it's called. And it was super cool. I got to, there's like pictures on the wall of all the people that have performed there. And so anything that you can show them that isn't readily available to the public always goes over really well. You can do a live Q&A session where you have people come on and ask you questions or submit their questions prior. You can do interviews, and I'm going to talk about a couple, you may know, but I'm going to talk about a couple different platforms you can do to do live interviews. But you can even, like Instagram now, you can bring people on. Facebook, you can bring people on. Share local knowledge. This one, I feel like really applies more to like if you're a local brick and mortar or you're a real estate agent or I don't know, like maybe, like local brick and mortar. But you can share, what's happening in your neighborhood, like a new school, a new park, a new restaurant, a new bar, just stuff around your neighborhood, especially if that's who your target market is and that's who you're trying to reach. Testimonials are great if you can get somebody to talk to you like, hey, I just had this, great experience. Like Brandon should be getting everybody here to do testimonials to share on his pages. You're welcome. Events. So, you want to go live from events. So, like here, right now, today. Talk about how awesome it is. Give Brandon kudos. Showcase products. So, especially, and still you want to keep in mind like the 90-10, don't be overselling, but you can showcase products, especially if you're doing something new, if you have a new product coming out, or you can ask people like, hey, what do you guys think? Should it be this or this? Do you like this color or this color? People love giving their opinion. So any way that you can bring the audience in is ideal. Trainings. So if you've got stuff that you can, do a 10, 15, 20-minute training on, those are always great. And then employee or customer spotlights. As much as people like giving their opinion, they also like being put in the limelight, as long as they're open to being on live video. Some people are scared to death of live video, so of course you have to ask. Okay, so let's go live. So first thing, welcome your viewers, answer questions, commit to going live consistently. You want to make sure that you're sharing on your other social platforms. So if you're going to go live on Facebook, you're probably going to want to share that out on Instagram, maybe on Snapchat, let them know on Twitter. You want to make sure that you're driving everybody back to wherever it is you're going live on Facebook if you're on the other platforms. And then you want to repurpose your live streams. And so you've got your, let's just say you did Facebook Live. You got your Facebook Live video, you've saved it, it went great. You're like, okay, cool, now what? So you go into Facebook, you download that video, so you've got it, and then you can upload it and embed it everywhere else. So one of my favorite things to do is if I've done a Facebook Live, I'll take that and do a blog post. So, and this is one of the ways that I do it is I actually have somebody that I send them the video. They do a summary of it for me. So they go through and listen and take out all the key points that I talked about, turn it into a blog post. It comes back to me. I review it and say, yeah, I like this, change this, whatever. So then I have a summary in words and the video to go on my blog. Then I take in that same video or once it's in the blog post, I would probably do it that way, is share it to my other social media platforms. So I would say, key points on Twitter, and I'd post it out a couple different times with those key points, directing them back to my blog, because you always want to be taking people back to your website, not necessarily to Facebook. The other thing that you can do is embed it in an email and send it out to your subscribers. And I heard from Owen Himseth that I talked about earlier, the YouTube guy. He said that if you have video in your subject line, you get a 19% open rate. So it's a lot higher open rate than you would normally get. The other thing that you can do is take out your audio from the live and turn it into a podcast. So it just gives you a lot more bang for your buck than, just doing a live video and then being done with it. So a couple professional video resources that I really like are BeLive and Switcher Studio. So BeLive, it does a few different things. So this is Joel J. Bear and Chris Brogan. So BeLive, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joel, because I can't remember exactly how much this cost. It was free for a long, well, it is still free. You can do, I believe it's up to, I think it's 2 broadcasts a week, up to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. But one of the things is that you can easily schedule your Facebook Lives with BeLive. I don't know if any of you have ever scheduled a Facebook Live through Facebook. It's not that intuitive. It's actually a little bit like you have to look for it kind of. But BeLive makes it super easy. And then if you want to bring on guests, so you can have interview style, you can have 3, you can sort of like talk show style. They added the ability that you can brand. So you see up in that corner where it says powered by BeLive.tv, you can, and I think that you actually have to pay for, but you can add your own brand. So it would have your logo up there in the corner instead of theirs. It allows you to put comments, like you see at the bottom. How would you define social selling? You could put comments or post the comments of what people are saying as you're going along. You can also create agendas so that you've got, hey, go check out this website, and you have the website already preloaded. So it's just a really great tool for doing those interview style or scheduling, even if you're just doing a training. The other thing you can do on there is you can showcase, or you can show presentations or videos or websites. So Switcher Studio, basically what Switcher allows you to do is somewhat the same thing. Like you can schedule your lives, but it allows you to use up to 9 iOS devices, so you can have multiple angles. So for example, we could be using Switcher in this room right now and have that video, or well, they need to be iOS devices, but you could have them set up all around, and then you have your main control board at the back, and you just hit where it goes. And again, it does, it allows you to brand. You can put up lower thirds with your website or whatever information you're wanting to share out with your people. You can have images, videos. It's a really cool tool if that's something that you're in need of. So one of the things I wanted to give you guys is I put together this I feel like it's a fairly easy to use content calendar, but it really gives you a ton of information. And it's got, in the resources tab, it's got links to like all of the resources I've mentioned here today. So if anybody's interested in getting that, you can get it at sociallypowered.com/live to grind.
Awesome. Let's give it a round of applause.